Misuki Nuno, known as Nobi, is an elementary school teacher with supernatural powers and psychic abilities. Nobi battles evil spirits and ghosts to protect his students, using his demonic hand as a weapon. Our story begins and we see the school principal talking to our hero, whose name is Misuki, and saying to him, "Please find me a solution for the evil spirits that have filled the school." He tells him that these spirits are harming all the students I have, and he tells him that I heard that you are the only teacher in Japan who has spiritual power. In the end, our hero Misuki agrees to help him. After that, we go to the school where the evil spirits are, and we see a student named Hiroshi, who is sitting and annoyed with all his classmates, to the point that his classmates think that he is annoyed with them and does not want to talk to them. After that, a girl named Kyoko, who is very close to Hiroshi, says to him, "Stop this nonsense, why are you treating your classmates so badly, and you don't want to talk to them?" Hiroshi says to her, "Get away from me and go away with those braids of yours and find something else to do away from me." One of their classmates comes and says to them, "Stop fighting," and says, "What do you think of our new teacher? I wonder how he's doing." One of their classmates tells him, "I saw him at the opening ceremony." Kyoko tells her, "Be careful, this new teacher is our neighbor, and he also has a mysterious power that no one knows what it is." Kyoko's classmates feel that she has been completely stung, and her mind has completely gone from her. But suddenly, they hear the voice of the teacher, Misuki, as he recites a very strange incantation. There is light and smoke around him, and Misuki enters the classroom holding a magic ball in his hand. Here, Misuki, he feels a very big bone after all the students were afraid of him. But suddenly his mobile rings, and he can't turn off his sound, and he immediately stumbles, and the sticks with the blue fire in them break, and we know that it was a chemical combination to produce this blue fire and the smoke around him. After that, he starts welcoming all the students, and tells them that I am your new teacher, Misuki Kuki, and I want to get to know you. We see the student Miki telling him that I am very happy that you are our teacher, and I hope you show us your bone and how you can expel spirits. Misuki likes the idea very much and gathers all the students around the principal's picture and puts 2 candles in his head and starts to take out a bag of salt and says a stupid spell and throws some salt on the principal's picture. His classmate comes to his voice and says to him, "What is the stupid thing that you are doing?" He tells her that, "There are evil spirits around you and I am happy that I expel them. They always get angry at him and knock him over with the book in his brain. You leave him and walk, and the book of exorcism falls from your hand." Hirotoshi takes care of it. The first time he holds it, he sees very strange memories suddenly appear, and we see that he is fanatical and insults Misuki and tells him, "What kind of atmosphere are you doing to us? She creates spirits for us and possesses a mysterious power." Misuki is here approaching him and telling him, "If you don't believe me, he will send me away. I will exorcise the evil spirits that are controlling you." The first time he brings his hand to Hiroshi, we see Hiroshi following his hand and all the while trying to hand him a box, but Misuki stops him. So Kyoko comes along and calms the matter down, and she takes Hiroshi and walks away. And the students are surprised at how Hiroshi has become so nervous, to the point that he was intolerant of his teacher. And also he wanted to hit him. And when Misuki meets the school principal, he asks him and says to him, "What is the news after you spent your first day with us?" He tells him that all the students are fine and nothing is wrong with them except for the student Misuki, who has an evil spirit controlling him. And by the way, the evil spirits here are called yukai. And after that, we see Misuki playing soccer with his friends, and he is still angry with them, and he imagines that they are annoyed with him and do not want to play with him and want to hit him. So the principal says to him, "I am counting on you to protect all the students." So Masuki tells him not to worry about them because the students are all like my children exactly, and I must protect them. And we go back to Hiroshi after that, who hits one of his friends, and the students are surprised why he did that. Even Hiroshi himself is surprised. And says, "Why did I become so angry?" When he goes to visit his coach in the hospital, as soon as the coach talks to him and hugs him, we find Hiroshi still angry and upset. And really, guys, it's as if there is something controlling him and making him extremely nervous. When he leaves the hospital, Kyoko sees him, and when she calls him, she tells him, "Miki, stay away from him now because Hiroshi has changed completely and is no longer the same as before. He still hits someone at school in the morning and might slap your face." But Kyoko doesn't care and runs to get close to him and notices that there are eyes that look very strange and terrifying, like they are coming out of Hiroshi's head. The next day, Kyoko goes to tell teacher Misuki about everything and tells him, "I feel that Hiroshi has changed completely and is no longer the same as before. He has become very nervous and does not talk to anyone." So Misuki tells her, "I don't want you to worry at all and leave this matter to us." When Hiroshi is in the bathroom, he is surprised that Misuki suddenly appears from behind him while he is working. He recites a very strange spell and holds the crystal in his hand and says to him, "Masuki, I want you to talk to me and tell me, since when exactly did you become such an angry person?" Hiroshi almost gets the better of Masuki and throws away the crystal in his hand and runs off. After that, he goes to their class and a new tablet is distributed to them. But here, Hiroshi is surprised that all the icons on his tablet start moving strangely. Hiroshi gets scared and gets angry and starts yelling at teacher Masuki as if he is looking for someone to fight with. Kyoko tells him, "What you are doing is wrong and you have to respect your teacher." He gets angry and hits her against the wall, hurting her, and yells, "Guys, he looks crazy and doesn't know what he is doing." After that, Misuki takes him, and they go to check on Kyoko after she gets out of the hospital. She tells him it is wrong to hit after. So a beautiful girl like me, Hiroshi here, apologizes to her, and tells her this is the last time. And when they leave the hospital, we see the hospital doctor looking at them from afar and laughing, and it seems that this doctor also has a big secret behind him that we will know later. And when Masuki is walking with Hiroshi, he notices that a little child is crying, and when he looks at his hand, he finds a cursed spirit in the form of an insect that is making him cry. So he uses his magical power and seals it, and is able to get the cursed insect out, and then he goes to Masuki Hiroshi and shows him this cursed worm. And Hiroshi here does not know what this insect is and what it is, so he tells him that this insect is called the nervous fit worm. And if it is inside anyone, it makes them nervous and changes them completely. And he tells him that if this insect is inside infants, it is not dangerous. But sometimes the small insect that you see here transforms a monster, whose name is the insect with 99 legs. And Masuki tells him that there is a very high probability that this insect is inside you and has been able to transform into a monster and is controlling you and making you extremely nervous. Indeed, we see strange things appear on Hiroshi's face and eyes begin to appear from around him. As usual, we see Hiroshi get angry and hit Masuki with a very strong blow that sends him flying. Hiroshi runs away, scared and not knowing what is happening to him. He remembers his memories when he used to fight with his father and was extremely nervous with him and was the reason for his father getting hurt. Hiroshi tries to find any way to get rid of the monster that is controlling him. Suddenly, Kyoko reaches him and is surprised that Hiroshi looks very strange. Hiroshi tells her that I told you 100 times to stay away from me with those braids of yours. Kyoko is immediately terrified and afraid and runs away, but Hiroshi doesn't solve it and runs after her using the cursed power inside him and grabs Kyoko and keeps laughing like a madman and says that he will take revenge on all the people who used to make fun of him and curse him. And suddenly, we see the Book of Cursed Spirit Heroes wrapping around Hiroshi and he is able to control it and makes him leave Kyoko. And then a legendary entrance, sir, from the hero, Masuki, while he is saying the spell that expels the yokai spirits, and we see Hiroshi crying and asking Masuki to help him get rid of the cursed spirit that is controlling him. So Masuki approaches him and hugs him and tells him to leave this matter to him and not to be afraid at all, and calls out to the demon that is sealed in his left hand. And suddenly, we see his hand transformed into a very huge demon hand, and boom, sir, a very strong punch to Hiroshi's chest, and he is able to fly away the cursed spirit that is inside him. And we actually see the yokai that was controlling Hiroshi is the insect with 99 legs. And here Masuki could not believe that the insect reached such a huge size, and suddenly we see this insect trying to attack Hiroshi to swallow him again and control him. But Masuki intervenes and pushes him away and enters the insect instead of him. And oh my teacher, we see Masuki with his devil hand succeed in cutting this insect into large pieces and finishes it. And after that, Masuki goes to check on Kyoko and Hiroshi and finds out that they are fine. But what no one expected happens, and suddenly we see the doctor who was watching them arrive. And he delivers a strong blow to Masuki that sends him flying and grabs Hiroshi by the neck and tries to strangle him and finish him. And the doctor tells him that I have been waiting for this opportunity for a long time, and today is the greatest day of my life. And we see Kyoko ask him, "Who are you? Exactly. What do you want from Hiroshi?" The doctor said to her, "Are you his girlfriend?" So she says to him, "Yes, I am his friend. Leave him alone and you have nothing to do with him." Then the doctor says to her, "Come on, find me a ruin to play with," and he gives her a very strong leg that throws her. But Masuki catches her before she falls, and Masuki says that the aura that is coming out of the doctor is not a human aura at all. And then the doctor makes a strange move with the weapon he has and disappears. When Masuki comes, he doesn't find him, but when he puts the crystal on the place where he was, he finds a strange letter written in its place. And through the letter, he is able to determine its place, and suddenly Masuki's hand hurts, and he knows that this pain is because of the demon sealed inside him, and also the evil spirit that he defeated that was controlling Hiroshi. And Kyoko, here she is, afraid of Masuki after she knows that there is a demon in his hand. So he tells her not to be afraid, but this demonic hand is the only thing that makes him able to expel spirits. And then he tells Kyoko that, "You must go now. I can't talk to you anymore because I have to catch up with Masuki." When Kyoko insists that she go with him to help him, he refuses and gets very upset. We go back to the doctor, and he is happy and says, "It's good that I got rid of Masuki because that would have ruined my whole plan." Then he throws Hiroshi, but before he falls to the ground, he flies quickly and catches up with him. Everyone is surprised and says, "Who came down from the sky suddenly?" We learn that the doctor threw Hiroshi to make sure that he got rid of all the anger inside him. Then Masuki arrives and tells him to leave that little boy in his hand, but the doctor refuses. So Masuki takes out the spirit-supporting book and attacks him with it, but the doctor succeeds in burning it all. Then, boss, we see the doctor using the illusion technique on Masuki, and at that moment, Masuki literally sees more than a copy of the doctor, and he keeps imagining strange things, like that a wild wolf is going to attack him. And when Masuki gets rid of it, he realizes that it was just an illusion. Suddenly, he finds the doctor throwing Hirotoshi off a bridge and finds a wild tiger approaching Hirotoshi, so he runs quickly to catch it. But the tiger is an illusion, and Hirotoshi, who is lying on the ground, turns out to be a cat in the end. This is, of course, all because of the illusion technique that the doctor used on Misuki. Misuki keeps imagining very strange things until he uses the magic crystal and is able to realize that everything around him is an illusion. Through this crystal, he is able to read the letters of these letters, which are the 7 northern stars. We know that these stars are very ancient Chinese symbols, and the doctor's goal is to distribute these 7 northern stars in more than one place in order to begin implementing his plan. Of course, she doesn't understand anything. So Misuki tells her that, in the end, this doctor is preparing a special ritual to carry out his plan. When we return to the doctor before he starts his contagion, he is surprised for the 15th time that Misuki comes to him and says that this man has 7 lives, or what, and he is doing the magic of illusion for the 2nd time, and Misuki imagines that Hiroshi is tied to a clock, and the clock's hand is near his neck and he is about to cut it off, and when he reaches it quickly, he is surprised that the hand of the clock is very close to Hirotoge's neck, and he cuts it off and throws it in front of him. Misuki is of course shocked and thinks that all this is real, and then he is surprised that he was delusional about everything he saw a while ago. But it will be too late because the doctor throws him with the weapon he has in his back and knocks him to the ground, and Misuki does not surrender and approaches the doctor and holds his leg, and tells him Hiroshi will have nothing to do with it. But the doctor takes his weapon and steps on his head and leaves him and walks away. After that, we know the doctor's plan, and we know that this doctor was a human wolf who lived about 300 years ago, but he has the ability to turn into a human. He was looking for a specific person to take his skull and be able to live among humans normally whenever he wanted. But of course, he wasn't looking for any skull and wanted one that was suitable for him. That's why he decided to work as a doctor and be able to enter the morgue and look for the skull that was suitable for him. By chance, he met Hiroshi on the road and knew that his skull was the suitable skull for him. But of course, he couldn't take Hiroshi's skull right away, and he had to get rid of the anger inside it, because if he used his skull while it had any anger in it, it would spoil his rituals. The doctor decided to plant inside him is a bug of nervous attacks to get rid of any anger inside him. And luckily for the doctor, Hiroshi met Masuki and was able to get rid of the bug inside him, and thus Hiroshi's skull was completely cleansed of any anger inside it. And then the doctor begins his ritual and throws his weapon at his brain to remove the skull, and prepares to put Hiroshi's skull, and then transforms into his wolf form, and Hiroshi of course sees all of this in front of him, and keeps screaming and looking for anyone to catch him quickly, and then he begins to do his ritual of the 7 northern stars, and at lights everywhere that start to light up in the sky, and the school students see these lights and they are very happy and think that this is a big party that is going to be held soon. And then we see Kyoki arrive at the place where Hirotoshi is locked up, and she tries to find any way to help him and save him, and then the savage approaches Hirotoshi and prepares to remove his skull. But Master Misuki arrives and tells him to stop, you wolf, you idiot, and have nothing to do with any of my students. Hiroshi runs to Misuki, very scared. So Misuki hugs him and says to him, I don't want you to be afraid as long as I am here, and your teacher, no one will ever hurt you. He looks at the doctor and says, I have met many spirits like you who can turn into monsters, and I want to tell you that your end is at my hands. Masuki looks like he is a man, and he swears to make his face turn red. Masuki begins to summon the demonic hand that is in his left hand, and at that moment the wolf is surprised that Masuki possesses the demonic hand, and he starts to bring out 3 copies of himself to make them attack Masuki and finish him off. Well, Master, a very strong fight begins between Misuki and all the copies of the wolves that the doctor summoned. Misuki succeeds in using his devil hand to block all their attacks, but one of the wolves suddenly appears in front of Misuki and extends a flying leg to him. But Misuki catches himself before he falls, and succeeds for the 2nd time in dealing with and blocking all their attacks. After that, the original version suddenly appears in front of Misuki, and succeeds with the weapon in his hand in flying Misuki and sticking him to the wall. Hiroshi here is afraid for his teacher and says that this way he will not be able to resist and will die immediately. After that, we see the savage wolves start to attack Misuki, but it is clear that fatigue is starting to appear on him, and he is not able to resist all their attacks. When Misuki remembers that he is the teacher of the students, and that he must protect them, he almost gets encouraged again, and the wolf is surprised that Misuki does not want to give up at all, and is determined to protect Hiroshi. We go back to Hiroshi, who is trying to open Bader to ride it and help his teacher. And Kyoko reaches him and starts breaking the glass of the loader door to make him ride. And we go back to the wild wolf, who says to Misuke that there is no time now and I must finish you quickly to start my ritual. And it is clear on Misuke that he is tired and exhausted. And then the wolf also summons new copies of himself, and they all come out to attack Misuke. But we see that the loader that Hiroshi is riding has a very huge magnet that pulls the copies that the wolf summoned, and here Misuke knows that the copy that is attacking him is the original copy. So he gets up with all his anger and gathers all his strength in his demonic hand and attacks the wolf with one punch. Literally, oh teacher. He crushes him and the wolf before disappearing. Says to him, don't think that you finished me with this method, and I want to tell you that I will see you again soon. And we see Hiroshi and Kyoko run to check on their teacher, tell them that they had no idea that evil spirits actually exist and live with us. So Masuke says to them, I know that it is difficult for you to believe and you have to see it with your own eyes first, but I want to tell you that these spirits have been living with humans for a very long time. He tells them that they are like a mirror that reflects the hearts of humans. This means that if there is an evil person, then his spirit or his yokai will be evil, and if there is a good person, his yokai will be good. They feel that what their teacher is saying is very difficult for them to understand now, and they say that the most important thing is that we are fine, and nothing happened to any of us. This ends the first part of our story. Don't forget, leave comment and see you again in a new story. Bye. We moved to the schoolyard where some students were playing, and the janitor was watching them all. The janitor kept an eye on the students, and when they looked at him, they felt strong winds blowing towards them, which scared them, and they ran away. After that, we moved to Nino, who was heading to his class, and saw his teacher Ritsuko, whom he admired. She was joking with Kyoko and Miki. No quickly approached her and told her that there was something on her back. When she asked what it was, he told her it was a spirit, which frightened Ritsuko, and she asked him not to joke with her about such things because she was scared of them. He then apologized and promised to take it back, but she was shocked that he touched her and screamed, which gathered more students around. Ritsuko went to her room, leaving Nuino very sad. The other students approached No, and Hiroshi told him that he shouldn't talk to her about scary things. Then Miki came up to Nino and told him about a rumor concerning an honor student at midnight who performed strange acts like swapping flowers, cleaning the rabbit cage, and wiping the blackboards, cleaning throughout the night in the school's darkness, and no one knew who that person was. She asked him if he thought it was scary. Makoto thought it could be a ghost, but Katsuyo didn't believe in ghosts and thought they weren't real. Kyoko wondered if it was a ghost, then they should check it out. Hiroshi also asked Noino for his opinion, but Nu said he shouldn't believe such rumors and asked Hiroshi not to take things seriously, telling them to go back to their class, and he left. Then night fell and the students returned to school to look for the cleaning man. Makoto was very scared, but Hiroshi was super excited, and Katsuyo felt happy to see Hiroshi acting like himself again because he was worried about him. Miki wondered if there was really a ghost and asked if they could befriend it. Kyoko urged them to be quiet because she heard a strange sound and told them there was a noise coming from the classroom. When they opened the classroom door, they saw the janitor, and Hiroshi confirmed he was real. Thino came and grabbed Hiroshi, which startled him, and he asked Nino not to scare him. No questioned why they were there at that time, but Hiroshi explained they weren't doing anything wrong. They just came to see the cleaning student at midnight. No told them to stay outside and approach the cleaning student, saying he knew this, instructing his students to keep it quiet. The students then approached him one by one, surprising Hiroshi. The next day, they turned on the light and No started explaining his subjects. While the students listened, the honor student Miki asked him about something she didn't understand, which scared her a lot and made her hesitant. No immediately intervened and asked if he wanted something, offering to help him with anything, and the student said he was very kind and he really liked him. Miki was even more amazed when she saw that he had written nothing in his book and was just doodling, but Nino told him he would teach him the alphabet, which frightened the other students. Time went on, and darkness fell thick. No asked them to start the party. Hiroshi wondered if the party was to kick someone out, and Kyoko was excited to do it too. Then Nino turned off the light and revealed a wooden box, telling them it was made of flowers. He uncovered what was inside, and there was a Japanese doll. He explained that spirits tend to find homes in human-shaped objects, even in this silent doll. The cleaning student asked Nino if he thought this doll had a spirit. Hiroshi insisted he was sure of it, and Kyoko told him that the doll had feelings. No saw that spirits lived inside things that had been used for a long time, especially this doll. Then, Nino cast his own spell on the doll and revealed the spirit of the doll to them, astounding his students. He informed them that when there are things like the doll's spirits, they become haunted objects called Tsukumogami. Over time, they turn into people, starting to have thoughts and feelings, which astonished the cleaning student, leading everyone to marvel at this student's behavior. Hiratoshi told him they weren't seeing a doll spirit for the first time. Miki mentioned she had met it before and asked if he remembered. Kyoko speculated there might be another doll spirit in the room and asked the cleaning student where it was, believing that this soul spirit belonged to her doll statue. No approached him and told him that this second spirit had been preserved for a long time and had been used for so long that it now had a spirit. But not just that, it forgot it was also a doll and thought it was a student here, which made the cleaning student astonished and the other students scared. The cleaning student asked if he was this doll. He revealed his true self, and Kyoko thought the student might be shocked. The cleaning student then asked Nino what he meant. No confirmed he really was, reminding him how he first said it when it was in a wrapper opened by Ritsuko, and he felt very scared back then. He told him that he had been in a deep sleep in the back of the science lab and the janitors had pulled him out of the wrapper, but Nu had felt worried too back then when he came out. He predicted that when he was watching the children, his suppressed feelings started to flow. And when he began walking down the halls at night, cleaning while mimicking the children, people began to see him and he became known as the famous student at midnight. When he met them, he didn't want to expel the kind spirit carelessly until the next day, when he spoke with the students and advised them to treat it normally as if it were a human being. However, he wanted to make her realize that she was a doll spirit without scaring her. Kyoko suggested they could treat her like a real honor student and create a classroom for her. No would teach a class about doll spirits and gently help her realize who she was. Tricking her and the other students got excited about this idea, except Makoto, who was scared. But Hiroshi predicted that since Noah was there, everything would be fine. Noah began to think, but Mickey pleaded with him until he agreed to this idea, making them all happy before returning to the present. He told him that now he understands, and that he is a spirit who escaped from this human model, but the student denied this and told them he is a human, not a human model. However, Nino didn't believe him, and tried to stop his heart to bring him back to the model. But the student pushed Nino's hand away and ran off. Then he went to one of the mirrors, saw himself, and was shocked by his appearance. He realized he wasn't human. He was just a doll shaped like a human with a soul. Then he collapsed to the ground. No. And the students were watching him and felt sad for him. No thought this made things harder. Hiroshi gathered his courage, approached him, and told him not to be depressed. He invited him to play with them since they would be friends for a day. He asked his friends and they all agreed. The student thanked them and asked which game they would play. Hiroshi said they'd play tag and he would be the winner. The student remembered watching the others play tag in the yard and asked if they were friends now. Then he smashed the mirror. No immediately stepped forward, telling him to calm down and that they had to clean up the mess. He told them to leave because this was dangerous for them. When the students left the bathroom, No warned him that if he kept breaking furniture, he'd take full responsibility. No entered the cleaning supplies room to get a cleaning tool, but once inside, he couldn't get out because the door was locked from the outside. The student went out to meet Hiroshi and his friends. Hiroshi thought Noah was late because of cleaning. Suddenly, the doll appeared to them and said that, since they were friends, they should all be alike. He said he would peel their skin to look like him. Then he showed a piece of the broken glass and revealed the other half of himself. He started a countdown to turn them into like him, which scared them a lot. When the doll finished counting, the students ran away immediately. The doll chased them because he wanted them all to be similar. Hiroshi said at this rate they'd be killed, so they had to hide. Then the doll jumped high and threw a strike, but it didn't hit anyone. It cut the cleanliness signboard into two. The students ran away again, using the glass shards stuck in the wall to their advantage. The students split into two groups. The first group hid behind trees, very scared. The doll came to them, calling and asking them to show themselves so they could become alike. He almost found them but got distracted by the sound of a door closing. Meanwhile, the second group thought they were safe, until the doll came outside and started knocking on their door. Hiroshi reassured Kyoko that he had locked the door well, but they didn't expect the doll to come in through the window. They were shocked. Then the doll broke the glass and entered, telling them cleaning was fun, but playing with them was even more fun. The group hid so the doll couldn't see them. The doll started searching and finally found them. He told them they'd be friends now, alike. He almost stabbed them, but Nu intervened just in time and saved them, making Hiroshi and Kyoko very happy. No apologized for being late, and told the doll he got too worked up in a rage, then asked if he had enough fun. No turned the doll back into a spirit, and told him to return to his ship. Then they moved to the classroom. The spirit told Nino it wanted to be human, but Nu refused because he couldn't. Nu left the spirit and cast his spell, turning his hands into demon hands, which surprised everyone since it was their first time seeing it. Hiroshi and Kyoko got excited because they had seen them before. No prepared to seal the human model, and struck successfully expelling the spirit. He told them that since they were offering this holy book that seals the spirit, it would be done in one night. But Mickey felt bad and wanted Kyoko for the spirit to become human. No saw that the doll shouldn't become human and insisted so, but Mickey got hungry and asked Nino to order dinner for them. They left the classroom to get food, leaving the doll alone. The spirit appeared again. The next day, Nu was with the principal, who asked for compensation for the damages. The principal said he couldn't find the human model anywhere, but Nu was sure he left it there yesterday. The principal didn't believe him and said the bulletin board, bathroom mirror, and storage window were all destroyed. He said he would send a bill for all that. No told the principal that the human model did it, but the principal still didn't believe him and told him to pay next month, which made No cry a lot. Then No, feeling very sad, Mickey thought No would buy them ramen, but he'd lose all his money on compensation. Hirobi told him he already made a promise to them and that today was a perfect chance since he had no soccer practice. Katusia asked where the human model had gone. Kyoko guessed it had moved again and asked Hiroshi if it was possible for the model to move without a soul. Then the doll appeared and told them that after all it had become human. No almost approached him but stopped, telling him he came to say hello. The doll revealed he hadn't put his skin on yet, which scared them. Then the doll ran away. Nu asked him to wait, but a car passed between them and the doll disappeared, leaving everyone stunned. Nu thought since the doll became human, parts of Yuka must be affected by the spiritual magnetic field, and maybe would appear in another. This is how today's episode of This Anime ends. Wait for me in the upcoming episodes. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. We moved to the school, and the teacher Ritsuko was walking through the rows of students in the hallway, which made the students happy to see her. Ritsuko greeted them all. Then Wenyo came running from afar to greet her, but she told him that he shouldn't run in the hallway. But he didn't care. He asked her if she had any plans for today, but she hesitated to answer him and asked him why. Nuenyo wanted to invite her to dinner today, which made Ritsuko happy about this, but her happiness wasn't complete when she learned from Nuenyo that he was going to take her to a new restaurant overlooking the cemeteries. He told her that she would get excellent service from a first-class zombie and that she would enjoy a drink that would be a vampire cocktail decorated with eyes and also food that would be a collection of skulls, and she would watch a beautiful show of dancing spirits. This made Ritsuko feel very scared, and she hit him and walked away from him, which made Nueno cry. Then we moved to Nueni Ontunkra's class, and he asked his students what he should do. Some of them thought that any woman would be upset by this, and another was surprised that she had agreed in the first place. Another thought that psychic power had a negative effect on this. But Hiroshi thought that Nueno's power was wonderful, which made Nueno happy and hug Hiroshi because he had praised him. Miki wanted to have a psychic power like Nueno's too, but Nueno thought that psychic power wasn't good in all cases. But Miki insisted that it was good for Nueno, and that he was different from everyone else. Since she had a stunning appearance, she would become famous when she possessed psychic power. She imagined herself as a great artist, and would get a biographical film and receive her special award, and travel around the world for exorcism shows too. Then she came back from her imagination, and Nuna told them it was time to study. After that, Miki immersed herself in studying and delving deeper into psychic powers. Even during class, she was reading books about psychic power, ignoring her own studies. She was caught by Nueno, and he confiscated the book, but she had another book, and only occupied her mind with reading and listening to stories about psychic power. Then she moved to her house and watched an advertisement on television about psychic power, and asked people not to replay their memories and to try to remember everything they did today in reverse, as it was possible to obtain psychic power. Miki was amazed by this when she listened to it, and thought it was scary, but she would try it. Then she went to her bed and began to remember what had happened to her from the beginning of drying her hair, eating dinner, and studying. Then she remembered something important, which was that she hadn't studied for the math test tomorrow, but she would focus on replaying her memories tonight and went to sleep. A lightning bolt struck her while she was sleeping, but she didn't feel it. Then we moved to the school, and Miki felt very sleepy inside her class. Nueno was explaining to them, and asked Miki to read to refresh herself a little. Miki began to read, but she didn't continue reading and fell asleep, which made Nueno angry, and all the students laughed at her. Then, Nueno asked Miki to go and sleep in the infirmary until the end of the first period, which became Miki's habit. But Nueno surprised her that she would take the math test in the second period, which made her sad. He told her to go clear her mind until the next period. Then, Miki moved to the nurse's office, but she didn't find anyone there. Then she took off her shoes and went to sleep, and she wished she knew the test questions so she could pass it. Then she fell asleep, and the lightning bolt appeared again on her body. Then Miki woke up and transformed into a Yoko with a long head and began to fly inside the school, until she went to the teacher's room and went to Nueno's desk, and saw the math test with its answer key, and began to memorize the answers. Then the teacher, Ritsuko, came, and Miki approached her and turned around her, and told her that she smelled good, which made Ritsuko very scared. Miki thought she was dreaming, and asked Ritsuko not to scream so she wouldn't wake up from sleep frightened. Then, Nueno and the students heard Ritsuko scream and went to her, but Miki disappeared, and Ritsuko was lying on the ground. When Nueno and the students arrived, Nueno grabbed her to reassure her. Ritsuko told him that she had seen her. Nueno asked what she had seen. Kyoko and Hiroshi guessed that she had seen a ghost or a yokai. Ritsuko indicated to them that they were right, which made Nueno angry, and wondered how this could be, but he asked Ritsuko if anything had happened to her. She began to explain her shape to them, while she was very scared. Hiroshi and Kyoko guessed at the same time that it was a Rokurokubi yokai, and they were amazed. Then we moved to their class and they began to distribute the test papers. Katsuya was talking to Makoto about the yokai that had appeared and told her that she would be eaten first, which made Makoto scared. Then Nueno asked them to stop talking and focus on the test. Miki was still feeling very sleepy, even though she had taken a nap in the nurse's office. Then she began to look at the test paper and discovered that these were the questions she had seen in the dream, and discovered after that she had become possessed by psychic power and shouted with joy for this, which made everyone surprised by this behavior. Then she felt embarrassed by the students' looks at her and apologized and sat down. But Nueno looked at her with great surprise. Then Miki began to solve the test and finished before the time ended by 20 minutes, which surprised Nueno. Miki came forward to hand in the test paper, and Nueno thought that she had given up. But when he stared at the paper and thought that she should spend more time on this, he was surprised that she had solved the entire test correctly, which made the students amazed too. Then, Miki moved to her house and continued to watch clips about psychic power too, and told herself that she couldn't believe that she had obtained such a wonderful power. She thought about leaving school because she would become a world-famous woman and imagined herself in her own show, and was very happy to imagine this. She thought she needed to train her clairvoyance power now, and had the idea of flying to her friends' houses. Then she went to Kyoko, who was taking a shower and was very happy and singing, and Miki shared her singing from outside the window flying in the air, which surprised Kyoko. But Miki went away immediately and moved to Hiroshu, who was also in the bathroom, relieving himself, and felt angry because the toilet paper had run out, but she threw paper at him, which also amazed him by this. She also moved to Katsuya and Makoto, and they felt very scared when they saw her. Then she began to fly alone again in the air. The next day we moved to the school, and Miki was heading to her class. And she was happy about what happened yesterday and expected that her friends would be surprised when they saw her because of what happened yesterday, and also happy because her clairvoyance had become better. And when she entered the class, her friends were waiting for her, looking at her with amazement. And Nunu was with them. And Miki asked, "What's the problem with everyone?" And Katsuya thought she had tricked them. and that he didn't believe she was Otorokubi yokai. But Miki didn't understand anything and asked him what he was talking about, but Kyoko didn't know that Miki was the yokai. And Makoto asked her how she could deceive them that she was human all this time, but Miki told them that what happened yesterday was a psychic power called clairvoyance. And she approached them, but the students felt afraid and moved away, which shocked Miki. But Nunu asked the students to calm down and that he would protect them. And Miki was surprised that Nunu also believed the students. But Nunu asked her to talk privately because Hiroshi had told him everything. But Miki hesitated to go with him and asked him why he wanted this. And she felt very afraid and remembered Nunu expelling ghosts using his devil hands, and she ran away from fear, and Nunu asked the students to stay in the class and chased Miki. But some students also followed them, and Miki was running while crying, and Ritsu appeared in front of her in the hallway, and she screamed from intense fear and remembered that she was the yokai that appeared to her. But Nunu tried to reassure her to calm down, but she hit him. Then Miki continued running and Nunu continued chasing her, and when he got close to her, she threw things at him. Then she directed the fire extinguisher at him so that he couldn't see her after that, and she disappeared from in front of him. Then Miki moved to the gym and started asking herself why do they think she's a yokai. Then she lost consciousness and the lightning appeared on her again. Then Miki woke up and was surprised by what happened to her and wondered why her head was like this. Then Nunu came to her and told her, "So you're hiding here." Then he prepared his special spell and approached Miki, which scared Miki, and she threw things at him again and ran away and came out in front of her friends, which surprised them, and she flew high. Then Miki tried to explain to them that she's not a ghost, but the situation got worse and the neck continued extending among the students, which made Nunu angry, and Miki was running after them to explain everything to them and ask them to listen to her. But Nunu blocked Miki's way and succeeded in stopping her and used his power while holding her and almost hit her. But Miki knocked him to the ground and escaped from him. Then she looked at her friends with all sadness and was crying and laughing at the same time, and that she didn't believe she had become a yokai, and decided that she wouldn't give up without a fight, and attacked Nono and succeeded in restraining him and attacked him to hit him. But she collided with his strong hands, which made her feel pain. Then she shrank inside the gym again. Then Nunu ran to the same room, but Miki asked him not to kill her. Then Nunu asked her not to move, but Miki told him that she wouldn't look at test answers again and wouldn't spy on what everyone does again, and begged him, but now insisted on hitting her. But Kyoko intervened and asked him to stop and not kill her. Then she moved to Miki's side and told her that she's still Miki, even if she's a yokai, and that she's still her friend. Then Hiroshi also came forward and defended Miki and apologized for her and told him to think of her long neck as part of her personality. And who cares if there's a Roku in their class? Then Katsuya and Makoto came forward and also defended Miki, and that she's their friend forever, and that they will get used to her, which made Miki happy about her friends and that they support her despite her appearance. And she cried a lot from this, and the rest of the students asked him to leave her alone too, not just her close friends. Then Nunu approached her and told them not to worry and that it wouldn't take a second and hit her, which showed her real head, which surprised Miki, and she asked him about her current head. Nunu told her that what extended wasn't her physical body, but her spiritual body, and told her that Rokuokubi was seen as a yokai that can extend its neck. But in reality, it's a phenomenon where only the head and neck of the spiritual body extended move while you're sleeping. Miki asked Nono, "So, I'm not a yokai?" Then he told her she's not. Then he told her and the rest of the students that he's very proud of them, which made the students happy. Then Miki was very happy and started talking to her friends and asking them who were you calling a yokai, and that she's not a Rokurokubi, and that she's just careless and sleeping. Then she moved to the rest of the students and warned them that she would sue them because she felt insulted by them and asked them for compensation. Then Nunu approached her body and started thinking about what he would do, but the effect on her is very strong. But on the other hand, Miki was having fun with her friends by flying high. But Nunu got angry because if she continued doing this, she wouldn't return to her normal state again, which made them stop doing this. Then Nunu used his power and succeeded in returning her to her normal state. And she felt happy when she returned to her normal state and thanked Nunu a lot. But he felt annoyed, because he would pay for these things that were broken, and the next day, life returned to normal. And Nunu was teaching the students in class as usual, and they had another math test, and Miki joked with one of her friends to scare him, and he felt very afraid. But Nunu got very angry and told her they were in the middle of the test, which made her friends laugh at her. And Nunu got angry at Miki. Katsuya went with his little sister to the food cart to buy food. And his little sister wanted to buy one of the sandwiches, but Katsuya was surprised by its price because it was expensive, and he didn't have enough money to buy it. He expected the sandwich wouldn't cost more than 1,000 yen. Then he told her he would go and come back immediately, and he went to look for someone he knew to borrow some money. He moved to a place full of crows. And when he went there, all the crows flew into the air. There was a small shrine in front of him. Then a coin worth 500 yen rolled to him from this shrine, which was what he needed to buy food for his sister. He thanked the shrine and moved back to his sister to buy her food. We moved to inside the shrine where there was a samurai sword that had been removed from its sheath. Then we go to school, where Katsuya told his classmates what happened, which surprised everyone, because Katsuya bought the sandwich that appeared on TV and was also expensive. Katsuya's reason was that his sister Manami wanted to try it. Kyoko saw that Katsuya loves his sister very much, and they thought that if Hiroshi were in the same situation, he would eat everything himself. She said if she had to choose an older brother, she would choose Katsui, which made Katsui happy. Then all the students noticed the sound of Nino, who was still bothering teacher Ritsuko. Hiroshige asked what was happening outside. Then Nino entered looking sad. Hiroshige approached him and asked what was wrong, and if he had bothered Ritsuko again, but Nu got angry and denied doing that, telling them he just took a picture of her, which made the students wonder. Hiroshi asked Nino to see this picture. Then he showed them the picture, which made them very afraid. Kyoko confirmed she should have run away, indeed. No asked why she should run away. Then Miki snatched the phone from Nino, because she wanted to see the rest of the pictures, and took several pictures of them too, so ghosts would appear with them, like in Ritsuko's picture. But after they finished, they started looking for ghosts in their pictures but found nothing. However, Katsuya saw his picture without his head, which made him very scared, and he looked behind him, feeling extremely afraid. After that, the students began cleaning their classroom. Katsuya asked Nu about Lord Hatam from the shrine in the neighboring city, but Nu explained that he's not a lord, and that this house is actually a sword seal that turned into an evil spirit, which surprised Katsuya. He asked what he meant by an evil spirit. Then Nino told him that this place was originally an execution site, during the Edo period, and that sword was used to cut off criminals' heads. But after that, all the thieves sent there started saying something strange. Then Miki appeared and told him they were tricked by this sword, which terrified Katsuya. Miki explained that Hatama deliberately drops money in front of people who need it, and makes them use it, but that money should not be used. If this happens, the user of the money will be described as a criminal and will have their head cut off without mercy. Then No asked Miki to stop scaring Katsuya. But Noino tried to reassure Katsuya, telling him it's locked in a small shrine now and sealed with Shimanawa ropes used as a charm against evil, and that it's no longer dangerous. He also told him there's no need to fear. Then Katsuya remembered the rope that was cut by the crows and became Then Hirochoshi came to them and told Katsuya that something strange happened to his little sister. Katsuya immediately went to check on her and saw a wound on her neck. Manami was feeling pain from this wound. Hirochoshi said the broom fell on her when Manomi opened the closet door. Katsuya approached the broom and tried to pick it up, but his hands were cut, which surprised him. Then he imagined the sharp broom handle and fell to the ground out of fear of the broom, but Hiroshi picked it up and told him it's a very ordinary broom. Katsuya apologized to Manami for not helping her stand up, then helped her up, and asked her to go to the nurse's office. Suddenly, Katsuya heard the sound of the sword and looked behind him in surprise, which made no wonder and examined the broom. Then we moved to the schoolyard, where Katsuya told Kyoko and Hiroshi that he picked up money from Haramamba that he didn't know, and that it was a very dangerous place. But Kyoko asked Katsuya why he picked up the money. Katsuya wanted to make his sister happy by buying the food she wanted, and he didn't have enough money for this. His sister was really looking forward to this crepe, and he takes care of her a lot until their parents return. This makes him a hero in her eyes, and the best brother in the world for her. He didn't want to disappoint her. Then Kyoko asked Katsuya if he used the money he picked up, but Katsuya thought this money was blessed and didn't feel like he was stealing. He asked what he should do now. Hiroshi asked if Harambo would forgive him if he apologized to him. Katsuya thought this was a good idea, returning the money and offering an apology, but going alone with just his sister would be risky. So, he asked Kyoko and Hiroshi if they could go with him. Kyoko agreed, but Hiroshi suggested they tell Nino first before doing anything. But Katsuya objected to telling Nino that he used the money he picked up and begged them not to tell him. He doesn't want Hadama to harm his sister because she didn't steal like him. He did this and doesn't want anything else to happen to her. They saw they had no other choice and he owed them a lot. Now Katsuya couldn't believe they agreed to this and thanked them for helping him. Then, we go back to Haram's shrine again. Katsuya showed the money he picked up and apologized to Haram, asking him to forgive him. The others also greeted him. When they moved and thought everything was over, the money appeared again and rolled toward Katsuya, which surprised him. When he was about to pick it up, the sword came out of the shrine, flying in the air and fell right in front of him, causing fear. Katsuya, Hiyoko, and Hiroshushi were very surprised by this, and Manami asked what was happening. Katsuya approached her to protect her from harm, but something unexpected happened. They began hearing a voice telling them they were criminals, and an image of a yokai appeared on the sword, and the sword's shadow split into two parts. Then one of the yokai began to appear piece by piece, until the sword transformed into a sharp circle with one of the yokai inside, telling them their heads must be cut off. The four of them felt afraid, and Hiroshi asked them to run away. The yokai chased after them, then flew through the air and almost landed on Katsuya and his sister's head. But Katsuya managed to avoid this strike and save his sister as well, causing the yokai to crash into walls and get stuck. Katsuya asked his sister to run quickly, saying he was in pain and couldn't move. Hiroshi and Kyoko called for them to escape with them. Manami ran to Kyoko, and when Kyoko stood up to run, the yokai looked at him and told him he was a criminal, but Kyoko ran anyway. The yokai cut through walls to chase them, but they all managed to escape on their bicycles. However, the yokai didn't stop pursuing them. Manami was very scared and cried from fear, and Katsuya was very worried about his sister. When he looked behind him, he saw the yokai still in pursuit and became very upset. When Katsuya suggested he would delay the yokai because it only wanted him and Manami, Hiroshi told him to head toward the school and that No would do something about this and help him. Manami felt worried about him too, but Katsuya stopped at a fork in the road and asked them to go ahead, promising he would catch up with them right away. Katsuya signaled to the yokai to get its attention and chase him alone. Taking a different path from the others, he succeeded in diverting the yokai's attention from the others, making it focus solely on chasing him. While the yokai was chasing Katsuya, it shot a beam from its eye that cut through a street sign to obstruct Katsuya's path. But Katsuya managed to evade it, surprising himself that he did so. The yokai didn't give up trying to kill Katsuya, and increased its speed, running along walls to drop down on Katsuya from above to cut off his head. When it got close and dropped down on him, Katsuya pressed the brakes until his bike stopped, avoiding the yokai's strike, which caused the yokai to move away from him and go in a different direction outside Katsuya's path. Katsuya felt happy and thought he had succeeded, but then he heard the yokai's voice again, which surprised him. The yokai transformed a piece of metal into a sharp weapon and threw it at Katsuya, but Katsuya managed to escape without being hit. The scene shifts to Katsuya arriving at the school, where his friends were trying to open the school door to enter. Hiroshi was knocking hard on the door and calling for Noano. Manami saw Katsuya running on foot with the yokai still chasing him. Hiroshi was still trying to open the door but hadn't succeeded until Noano opened it from inside. They entered and waited for Katsuya to enter. Then Noino closed the door in the yokaya's face so it couldn't get in. The yokaya tried to enter repeatedly but couldn't, which made Manami feel afraid. No asked if this was Hatam, which surprised Katsuya, who couldn't answer. Kyoko and Hirotoshi explained the situation to Noino, telling him that Katsuya was trying to return the money he had used. Katsuya confessed everything to No about what he had done, saying he did it for his little sister to make her happy. No believed that what Katsuya did was wrong regardless of the reason, but Katsuya regretted it and wanted to return the money. Katsuya assured him of this. While they were talking, Haramamba managed to break through the barrier and reach them. Nolan stood in front of his students to protect them and tried to explain to Haram that the child didn't know and was sorry for what he had done, asking for forgiveness. But Haramamba kept repeating one phrase: criminals must have their heads cut off, and attacked them. No asked the students to hide because it was dangerous for them. Noanino realized that talking wasn't working and revealed his hands that possessed power. Katsuya asked if there was something he could do, and Hiroshi confirmed that Noanino's demon hand was stronger than any weapon. No cast his magic spell. Then Haram attacked Noeno, and Noeno blocked his attack with his demonic hands. Noeno's hand almost split from the sharpness of Harambamba's weapon until they moved away from each other. Harambamba attacked Noeno again, and Noenino defended himself again until they moved away from each other once more due to their strength. The students thought Noeno had lost, which seemed impossible to them. Noeno fell to the ground while Haram maintained his strength, which made them feel afraid, and they ran away. While they were running, Manami tripped and fell to the ground, but Katsuya didn't leave her and went back to carry her. However, a sharp weapon appeared above them, descending toward them and almost cutting off their heads. But Noeno intervened just in time and stopped this weapon, which surprised the students and helped him regain his strength. He suggested they move away from here. They moved to the lab, and Noeno created a paper barrier to prevent Haramamba from reaching them. Doing this to buy some time, Kyoko asked Noeno if his hands were okay, and Nonanino confirmed he was better and his demon hand was fully healed. Katsuya looked at him and felt disappointed because he was the cause. Then he discovered that Manami was injured and felt worried about her. He took out a handkerchief to bandage the wound to prevent excessive bleeding and apologized to her because everything happening now was his fault. But Manami told him it wasn't his fault, and that he did this for her, which surprised Katsuya. But Katsuya insisted he was wrong and that he wanted to be awesome. But this led to her being harmed, and he was the worst brother now. Then he apologized to everyone for this. No believed that if Katsuya truly regretted what he had done, he didn't need to apologize. Then they heard Haramamba's voice coming to them. Hiroshi asked what they would do now, and Kyoko also asked how they would defeat him if his demon hand didn't work. No believed carried a powerful sword sharpened with blood, but if he could deliver a blow to him in a place not protected by his sword. Then Katsuya suggested to Noenino that he should hand him over to Hatamamba, which surprised everyone. He said he was the one who put his friends and sister in danger and didn't care what would happen to him, asking Noenino to protect them. But Noenino strongly refused this. Katsuya had an idea and wouldn't surrender to Harumamba. Harumamba approached the lab room and looked at it through his red eye to detect them, then entered the lab and began searching for them until Hiroshi, Kyoko, and Manami appeared to him. Hiroshi raised a flag of surrender and told him that Katsuya was the villain, not them. He was the one who stole the money and used it, but Hatamamba quickly advanced toward them. Kyoko tried to explain they hadn't done anything wrong and asked him to forgive them. Hiroshige pointed to Katsuya's location and they moved away from his place, telling him to do with Katsuya as he pleased. Then Katsuya asked Haram to forgive him and that he would return the money to him. But Haram prepared to attack Katsuya, which made Katsuya very afraid because he didn't want to die. Haramba attacked Katsuya, but didn't hit him. Instead, he attacked his reflection in the mirror, which broke the mirror. Then Katsuya asked Noenino to attack now, and Noenino delivered a powerful blow to Haramamba, which eliminated him and returned him to a normal sword, like before. This made the rest of the students happy, and they were sure nothing could defeat the demon hand. No was happy that he succeeded and couldn't believe his students would do something so risky. Katsuya remembered Haramamba when he was stuck, and thought this would happen again now, but he believed that since it had chased him, it would definitely fall for sure. Manami approached Katsuya and hugged him because she was very worried about him. But Katsuya felt reassured about his sister since she was fine. Then Noana felt severe pain and the features of his hands changed. We then moved to Haramamba's temple where they returned the sword and tied the ropes again to keep it sealed. Then Katsuya apologized to Manami because she went through something scary because of him, but she didn't feel afraid because she was beside him and she hugged him. Kyoko wanted to have a little sister like her, but Hiroshi told her she didn't deserve that, which annoyed Kyoko and made her angry at him, causing Hiroshi to run away from her. But she chased after him and the rest laughed at. With that, our episode for today concludes. Wait for us in future episodes. We kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell icon to receive all our new content.